Hello and welcome. This video will talk a bit about I, me, myself and the concept of time. Bohm is concerned. He says eventually we come to a point where we might ask, are people in general actually going to look into all of this? Or is it the case that people are happy just to carry on as before? He asked the question not whether looking into the concept of time is important or not, if it's useful, but is it the thing that is going to help humanity? In the sense, will we be helped by that? It will require us to look into it on a broader scale, not just skipping it because it's too difficult or for other purposes. It might become a dogmatic way of just quoting small parts of it. The question is therefore about, will people look into it, rather than is it a useful discovery or not? Bohm says that without using the concept of time in an erratic way, all the other things that we have been talking about cannot stand. He begins by using an example of the 4 seasons. We can see that there is a wholeness there. They are not 4 distinct parts. Summer doesn't begin on the 3rd of June at 3 o'clock. But there is something that is actual. There is a succession there. Succession is an actuality. Creation of multiplicity is an actuality. So in the sense that new things are brought into the movement. So these things in multiplicity and succession, they are not really separate. They can be separated if we bring in time. That is the idea. I think that at this point our most common sense idea can be very useful. We see actually that seasons are not divided, they are not 4 things, and still we can select one of them. We can select summer, and if we are a farmer we can make a plan. We can divide summer into hours, days, nights, weeks, months, and I think I will plant things, harvest things. I will do all kinds of things the whole summer according to my time plan. So the farmer or the subject is dividing into what he needs, what the subject needs to do. So the object is divided according to the needs of the subject. That is the point. He must do something this summer. It's a framework. Time is a framework here. What is actually there is the land, the rain, the sun, the farmer, and the succession of events. This framework of time has some meaning and coherence in this example, but in the psychological realm there is no actuality upon which this framework is applied or can be applied, but we apply it anyway. What we actually have is an order of succession. Memory is using this order to present information. And on top of that we have the concept of time and even space. Bohm says that the theory of relativity implies the unity of time and space. But when we say, for instance, that there is pain in the foot, the pain in the foot is real in some sense, it is perceived. But when we perceive just an idea, it is not real in the same sense. What the idea refers to, it might be there or it might not be there. Like the idea of farming or the idea of a unicorn. However, the idea is sometimes perceived as real. So what we are looking at here with time is an idea about another idea that is perceived to be real, but there is no actual thing there. We could say that the human being, or the true individuality, which is actual, is something of cosmic origin, and that part, therefore, is really there. But it's not the point when we are looking at the ideas of the thinker, of I, of me, of myself, of time. The idea of the thinker, perceived to be actually there, sets up the condition for thought battling itself. The thinker is battling what we are thinking about. That seems to be the case. It is what appears in the mind, but what we actually have is something else. We see a self, but what we actually have is a process of a lot of thoughts. One of the thoughts is an image of self, and another thought is an image of time. Because there are two images, they appear to be separate, just like thought can have four images about the seasons, and the seasons can be treated as separate. We have these images of ourselves. One image is like the wholeness of the seasons, I am, and the other one is like the seasons being separate into summer, fall, and this is the me, my qualities, the qualities of the separate parts. I'm tall, I'm white, I'm sad, I'm good at math, or whatever it might be. And Bohm says that the child never learns how to be free of that image. It's important because the image of the me part, the objective qualities, will sooner or later and gradually be disconfirmed, criticized, perhaps even ridiculed. And this will begin to build up a longing to have it as it was first thought of. In the case of the child, the qualities of the child were experienced with innocence, a sense of wonder, like a great and bright and shining and unlimited event. Bohm says that it is then our attempt at defending this image and to prove how we are that leads us to identify with these things. So first we have an image, it's criticized, and we defend it. And when we defend it, we work to prove something, and that builds up our identification with these things. So this way we end up with one image trying to fix or protect another, neither of which refer to something that is actually there. Perhaps the fantasy of a better image sets up a longing that the better idea will then arrive later on in time. So even if we are looking into the process of it, we can see how trying to restore the image results in the wish or the need to hear others say something about how good I am again, how great it is. So that is one thing that we develop. Or we go into the path of proving ourselves by having a lot of things, money, stuff, how great I am, and so forth. It certainly will prove what I am, that I'm good. It's a very powerful movement, and Bohm goes on to suggest that if we find that we are in fact not these images, not the images we have of subject and object, moving around in time, changeable in time, then we could try another framework and see what that leads to. He suggests we could look at it as if it is unknown what we are. I don't know what I am, but it keeps revealing itself all the time, every day, so to speak. You see, it's impossible to say something without bringing in words of time, because that is how we represent a succession of things. But if that is so, if what I am is unknown, that way I don't need the identity of myself, of my own greatness. If I identify, then all the reflexes and the perception will be set up that way. So the attempt of holding onto an identity of good images in the concept of time over time might be the major block. Time is used to modify and change the images that I have. If they are not good, then they can be better. So perhaps that is the major block. Just that small change into reconsidering if this is so, or in fact that what I am is unknown, a cosmic event. It may help us to let go of the other images. Perhaps it helps us to clear up the notion that we are something limited and known. I should mention here that Bohm has written a small book. It's called On Creativity. Perhaps you wish to read it. In the seminar, of course, some of the material is brought in, but he opens the door to thinking about ourselves as a creative being rather than an identified being. The creative being is this unknown that is revealing itself. It's creating new things. And if you wish, next time somebody stirs up your reflexes by complaining about you in a way that doesn't agree with your image about yourself, then you have an opportunity to see it. You can suspend it and learn about what is going on, rather than, as we usually or often do, we go into arguing about it, trying to restore the image. We use time to restore it, and the whole division between good and bad is taking place, and it's acted out in relationship. Okay, that was a short introduction to the topic of I, me, myself, time. Of course, there is a lot more to say about it, but thank you for now.